Hey! So today I'm here with LJ because it's HA week. HA! Di magpapatalo. HA! Kahit na kanino. Sugod! Ipakita! Di susuko. Go Health Ally!
And because we're celebrating the HA week, we decided to collaborate with other
Domicides.
This is Ariel. She's a cheerleader.
Hi, I'm Ariel, and I'm a cheerleader.
And these are Ariel's tissues. Tissues are what makes up our bodies, everything from our bones to organs like our heart and brain. The function of the tissue is based on its type. Epithelial tissue, which is for protection, secretion, absorption, and excretion. Next, connective tissue, which is for binding, support, protection, filling spaces, storing of fat, and producing blood cells. Muscle tissue, which is for movement. Lastly, the nervous tissue, which transmits impulses for coordination, regulation, integration, and sensory reception. Well, that's part of our epithelial tissue, but underneath is packed with the skeletal tissue and muscle. These muscles are attached to your skeleton by strong, springy tendons and are directly connected to rough patches of bone.
Skeletal muscles are under voluntary control, which means you consciously control what they do, which is perfect, since the main functions of the skeletal muscles includes movement and support, as well as homeostasis. Skeletal muscles move the body. Muscle contractions pull on tendons, which are connective tissues attached to bones.
Ariel, tell us what happened in that stunt earlier.
In that case, the skeletal muscle contraction maintains the body position and posture. The muscle in our abdominal wall and pelvis contract to maintain the abdominal organs in position. How about you? Do you do sports?
Tennis. I just swing stuff. The biceps brachii is attached to the shoulder and the forearm bones. Contraction and thus shortening of the biceps brachii pulls on the tendons attached to the bones. Since the shoulder is stationary, the forearm moves. Back to topic. Ariel, how do you keep the tissues in your body healthy?
First, have enough protein in your diet. Intake of vitamins like vitamin C and minerals like calcium in your diet. Without them, tissue health is greatly jeopardized. And don't forget to drink a lot of water. Connective tissues and joints need enough fluid to cushion them.
Wow, good work, Ariel. Keep it up. Thanks for watching, and that's 2 minutes of tissues.
When we go out on a fine sunny day, probably one of the few things that cross our minds is the need to bring an umbrella.
This practice is not just done out of desire to obtain white complexion, but to actually protect the largest organ in your body, the skin.
The skin, along with the hair, nails, and exocrine glands, are all part of a large organ system called the integumentary system.
Its function is vital in human survival because it protects our body against injury and infection, regulates our body temperature, regulates water loss, and synthesizes vitamin D.
To further understand the integumentary system, let's look at its anatomy.
The outside layer of the skin is called epidermis, which is made of 40 to 50 rows of stacked squamous epithelial cells. It is an avascular region of the body, which means that it does not contain any blood or blood vessels. This layer has a waterproof barrier and is responsible for our skin tone. Found under our epidermis is the layer that gives the skin its flexibility and strength, the dermis. It contains nerve endings which sense pain, touch, pressure, and temperature, sweat glands which produce sweat in response to heat and stress, sebaceous gland which secretes sebum to keep the skin moist and soft, blood vessels which provides nutrients to the skin, and hair follicles. Hair is an accessory organ of the skin made of columns of tightly packed dead keratinocytes found in most regions of the body. The few hairless parts of the body include the palmar surface of the hands, plantar surface of the feet, lips, labia minora, and glans penis. Hair helps to protect the body from UV radiation by preventing sunlight from striking the skin. Nails are accessory organs of the skin made of sheets of hardened keratinocytes and found on the distal ends of the fingers and toes. Fingernails and toenails reinforce and protect the end of the digits and are used for scraping and manipulating small objects. Lastly, subcutaneous tissue, which is also known as its hypodermis, is the innermost layer of skin. It's made up of fat and connective tissues that house larger blood vessels and nerves. Subcutaneous tissue acts as an insulator and regulates body temperature. The thickness of this layer varies throughout the body and from person to person. These are the basic parts of the integumentary system. It may look simple to a lot of people, but organs like the smallest hair you have on your body actually has its purpose. With these information, the integumentary system sure is complex even in its simple facade.
Did you know?
That there are 3,200 bacteria from 150 species are carried on by our hands.
Germs are unavoidable and we can acquire them from everywhere, from taps up to our own personal phones.
Most of them carries diseases, and they are invisible to our naked eye. So this shows that we are unaware of the hidden dangers in our environment.
But with the help of the microscope, we are aware of these microorganisms that lives around us. Thanks to the pioneers and inventors of the microscope, which are Zacharias and Hans Janssen, and several individuals who contributed to the development of the said device. One of the vital contributors in the field of microscopy is Louis Pasteur, who reported that there are microscopic organisms, which he saw through the help of the microscope, that causes certain diseases.
There are different types of microscopes that can be used depending on the purpose and flexibility of its usage, some of which are called bright field microscope, fluorescence microscope, confocal microscope, and electron microscope.
Now, let's differentiate the microscopes.
Bright field microscope is a typical microscope that uses transmitted light to observe targets at high magnification.
Next is the fluorescence microscope that enables cells and proteins to be observed by using a fluorescent protein or antibody as a label.
Another type of microscope is the confocal microscope, which uses laser beams for clear observation of thick samples with different focal distances.
Lastly, the electron microscopes that emit electron beams towards a target to magnify them.
With this information in mind, we need to apply this acquired knowledge to be free from diseases carried by microorganisms by washing our hands frequently and practicing proper hygiene.
Today, we will be discussing about the four biomolecules, namely proteins, nucleic acids, carbohydrates, and lipids.
Did you know that there are proteins inside this fragile shell? And did you also know that whenever you cook eggs, you're actually observing a process called denaturation? It is the breaking down of proteins when subjected to abnormal and environmental conditions. Let's use this egg as an example. The whites of the eggs are composed of complicated structures of proteins. However, when heat is applied to it, the proteins start to weaken and eventually destroying the seed bonds. This is why the whites of the eggs, which are originally colorless, become opaque and visibly white. Now we move on to nucleic acids. A well-known example of this is DNA, a very important aspect in the propagation of any species as it allows the inheritance of traits and contains the blueprint of life. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid. That's a mouthful to say, but did you know that you can actually see your own DNA when you gargle a mouthful? DNA is like a double composed of nucleotides, a phosphate group, and nitrogenous base pairs. These base pairs are adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. Garbling with a warm saline solution can actually expose your DNA. Your cheek cells get suspended in the salt water and spit in a container. Put chilled alcohol and wait for a few minutes. A layer will form, clumps, and tada! That's your DNA. It is amazing to think that a simple action such as gargling can actually be a little science experiment.
Did you know that everyone consumes carbohydrates every day? That's right. Whether you eat meat, fruits, grains, breads, sugar foods, and vegetables, there are carbs in it.
Carbohydrates are known as one of the four biomolecules and our body's source of energy. That's why it is very important to have a carbohydrate-rich breakfast so that you will have a lot of energy to last the whole day. There are two types of carbohydrates, simple and complex. Processed foods such as candy, cakes, or cookies are rich in simple carbohydrates and add weight in our body if eaten too often. Complex carbohydrates such as vegetables or grains have huge amount of fibers and is rich in vitamins and minerals. Now, let's move on to lipids. Lipids are responsible for storing energy and it acts as the structural components of the cell membrane. Candles are made of wax, thus they are lipids. When you eat candy, you also consume lipids. Same as applying nail polish. Just remember, not all lipids are bad for your health. People just tend to eat too much bad fats and not enough good fats, which cause complications in our body. From now on, we must consider balancing the good and bad fats to avoid certain diseases.
Cell is the basic unit of all living organisms. There are three different organelles inside a cell. One of the most important organelle is the nucleus, which contains the genome. In humans, the genome is split between 23 pairs of chromosomes. Each chromosome contains a long strand of DNA that is tightly packaged around proteins called histones. Genes contain the instructions for making proteins. When the gene is switched on, an enzyme called RNA polymerase attaches to the start of the gene. This enzyme moves along the long strand of DNA, making a messenger RNA strand. The DNA code determines the order in which the free bases are added to the mRNA. This process is called transcription. Before the messenger RNA can be used as a template for production of proteins, it needs first to be processed, which involves removing and adding section of RNA. It then moves out of the nucleus and into the cytoplasm. Then, the ribosomes, which are the protein factories, binds to the RNA. The ribosomes reads the code in the mRNA to produce a chain made up of amino acids. tRNA molecules carry the amino acids to the ribosome. The mRNA is read 3 bases at a time. As each codon is read, the tRNA delivers the corresponding amino acid, and this is added to a growing chain of amino acids. Once the last amino acid is added, the chain folds into a complex 3D shape to form a protein.
So yun nga po no, mga ka-Tomasites. Please like and subscribe and share kung gusto nyo magka-lap-lap.